After congenial conversations with Nasser and a brief one with Ben Gurion, Bill and I had a short while in Israel before we'd return to Cairo. The temperature was pleasant, and I felt like an animal who'd been penned up for too long. I wanted to walk, to explore, to meander, to amble. Jerusalem was a fascinating place for it. We weren't far from the Mount of Olives, and I told Bill I'd like to look around. "This is a rather exposed area," he retorted. "No one knows we're here. I have my sunglasses on. I could be any businessman out for a stroll." He grunted. "But you're not. You're the UN Secretary General. And since no one knows we're here, we don't have extra protection. It's only us." "I'll be quick. We'll be back in Egypt soon enough." I turned and started sightseeing. I knew Bill was irritated, but I was electric. I thought of my days at Uppsala Castle, playing around the grounds, free as a bird. I was incognito, and I loved it. "Whoa!" he yelled. I looked and he was several paces behind me. It's crazy how a man can drive so slow, yet walk so fast. If only you could meet them in the middle. Ha! It's crazy how a man more than 10 years your senior could be quicker and more sure-footed than you. That's no mystery. So you've realized your penchant for fried foods is dragging you down. No, I've realized you're part mountain goat. Agile, yes, but also hard-headed. I grinned. That's funny. Sten used to say I was part cat. As we made it closer to the mount, Bill's mood became darker, more suspicious. "Boss, I think we should go now. It'll be dusk soon, and we have a flight to catch. There are a few pictures I'd like to take. I'm aware of the time, and we're fine." I was positioning my camera when I heard Bill say, "I still think we." The next thing was a loud bang. It sounded like the sky itself had fractured. I dropped to the ground instinctively before my brain fully processed the event. "Dag!" Bill shouted. He grabbed me and shoved me against a wall, using his body as a shield. A second shot split the air, and the bullet lodged several feet away. Bill's hand was on his gun as I warily asked, "Do you see anyone?" "Not yet. But damn it, I told you we were too exposed. We have to get back to the car, and Christ, I don't know how." "All right. Let's try to stay calm. Decisions made in panic are bad ones. No unnecessary attention. It'll become incredibly obvious that someone tried to murder Dag Hammarskjöld if we make a scene. I can't afford that. The peace process can't afford that. Fine. You. Hug the wall. Me. In front of you. Keep as much of yourself concealed as possible. Once we make it to the car, you get in and you get down. I'll sweep it as best I can for explosive devices. After that, we get the hell out of here and back to Cairo." Agreed. The journey to the vehicle felt like it might last all night, but we gradually made it. Bill did not find anything suspicious in or around the car, and we left Jerusalem without further incident. Once inside our Egyptian hotel, his emotions poured out. "It goes without saying that I'll sleep in the living area. No way in hell we're in separate rooms after this." "Yes, Bill." He sat on the edge of the sofa and put his head in his hands. Who knew? Ben-Gurion and maybe a handful of his staff? We're not blaming this on him. It could have been anybody. You said yourself that I've attracted a host of enemies over the turmoil in Hungary. But we weren't in Hungary. When Folk Bernadotte went to Jerusalem, he was unarmed. Didn't even allow his guard to carry a gun because he wanted to appear as peaceful as possible. The assassins pumped bullet after bullet into both of them. Ralph worked with him, remembers him well. I understand that what occurred today was and is upsetting. Unfortunately, it's a hazard of the job. Actually, it's a hazard for both of our jobs. Me as Secretary General and you as my bodyguard. Yeah, I get that. I was in the army, remember? I know there are a number of situations where a man cannot be a coward. He must be ready to lay down his life. I just feel like... He fell silent. Like what? Say what you're thinking. I knew where this was going. I feel like you take unnecessary chances. If we hadn't been goofing around on a miniature tourist jaunt, this wouldn't have happened. We could both be dead right now because you wanted to take pictures of the Mount of Olives, not because you were doing something with the UNEF. I pulled up a chair and sat across from him. Oddly, it was as if I were a father trying to comfort his son. I have to live my life, Bill. As you stated, there are situations where a man cannot be a coward. I meant the theater of war, and you know it. Yes, but... I made an expansive gesture with my arms. A man must also live his life. I cannot be Secretary General solely from that office in New York. Diplomacy by phone call and telegram sometimes gets the job done, but often does not. As for leisure activities, which I get less and less of by the day, I will occasionally go out. Last summer in Sweden, I was utterly serene on that sailboat. I felt like Dag again. Simply Dag, not the SG, and not a man who has a bodyguard, but an ordinary person spending time with his friends for his birthday. Having a few hours to melt into the moment was pure bliss. I need those moments. That's all I wanted today. To take photos, to keep for myself, and to send to family back home. When Ralph and I worked on the UNEF plans, and we walked to that round-the-clock diner, some loon could have jumped from an alley and killed me then. But I didn't allow that to trap me in the UN. We went. We ate. We lived. He stared at the wall behind me. I wish there was some way. Something I could do. I feel helpless in this. It's my job to protect you. But you have a mind of your own and an increasingly dangerous occupation. I do have my own mind, and it's not inclined to hole up on the 38th floor and hide from humanity forever. When we dealt with the bomb threat at Idlewild, you commented, "It will always be like this." I see that now. What did you mean? He looked directly at me with an intense expression. Exactly what I said. We'll never catch a break for long. Peace is a dangerous business. There will always be another threat. It's like a revolving door of creeps, kooks, terrorists, and weirdos. It's my turn to ask a question. When you retire to the farmhouse to tend your hens and maybe milk a cow or feed apples to a horse, what makes you think they'll leave you alone? Could it be naive to assume they'll ever forgive you? Forgive me for what? for trying to make the world a better place. I had no idea how to respond. He was in a dark, pessimistic mood, and I couldn't blame him. At the same time, I didn't want to indulge it. "Good night, William. I'll see you in the morning. I'm sorry about today." I walked to the bedroom and closed the door. I fished out my Bible and turned to Psalms, as I tended to do in such circumstances. Softly I read aloud. "In my distress I cried unto the Lord, and he heard me. Deliver my soul, O Lord, from lying lips and from a deceitful tongue. What shall be given unto thee? Or what shall be done unto thee, thou false tongue? Sharp arrows of the mighty, with coals of juniper. Woe is me, that I sojourn in Mesech, that I dwell in the tents of Kedar. My soul hath long dwelt with him that hateth peace. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war." Who were these people who hated peace? Was Bill correct? Was there some gang of them that would forever place a bullseye on my back? I changed into a pair of blue cotton pajama pants and slid into bed. Pulling a light blanket over me, I laid my head on one pillow and cuddled the other one next to my chest as a child might. I knew what Papa would say. He'd tell me that duty was paramount and could not be shirked. Mama would be a complete bundle of nerves if she knew people were trying to kill me. But I was doing the right thing, and that's what mattered. I flipped the Bible open again and read from the book of Matthew. "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid." I didn't want to hide. I wouldn't hide. Not for Bill, not for criminals, not for anyone.